warm the cockles of my heart. How many have heard that word? Right? It really intrigues us and say, wow, what does it mean by to warm the cockles of my heart? And why was it used at the moment? And why do people say this? That has such a profound impact in the thing that we remembered. Hey everyone, welcome to Coaching Changes Life. So glad you can join us in this week's episode. Well, if you're new to our channel, do remember to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because every single week we're coming to you fresh with new ideas, new concepts to improve your communication skills and conversational art. And what really coaching is about, it's that coaching is conversational mastery. And coaching isn't just for coaches, it's also for leaders, youths, for parents, for loved ones as well. Coaching has the power to create seismic shift and transformation in people's life. So every single week I come to you with fresh new videos, fresh new ideas to help you take your communication skills to the next level. Now this week I thought of something really exciting to share with all of us. So my thought was this one word. The word is Gallimaufry. Gallimaufry. What on earth is Gallimaufry? Well, Gallimaufry is this notion of bringing every single mixture together and making it work, making it taste wonderful. So when I search up the word Gallimaufry, and it is said to be from an ancient or maybe many years ago from a French cuisine. So let me read to you what Merriam-Webster says about the history of Gallimaufry. So this is what it says: if the word Gallimaufry does not make your mouth water, it may be because you don't know its history. In the 16th century, Middle French-speaking cooks made a meat stew called Gallimaufry. It must have been a varied dish because the English speakers chose its name for any mix or jumble of things. So if Gallimaufry isn't your taste, season your speech with one of its seasoning. Hash, hodgepodge, or potpourri. And this is so beautiful. The word Gallimaufry, it's a mixture. When you bring things together that seem not be, that doesn't seem to make sense, and bring them together, it becomes beautiful. Now, one of the things that I always say is, right, why learn words like this? Well, it has a significant impact in our conversation. Now, if we can make our conversations interesting today, how would we do that? If you're a public speaker, how would you make your conversations more interesting, right? One of the key challenges that all of us do is that, well, my words are so bland, my questions are so bland, my approach is so bland. How do I make it more exciting? Well, the secret really is to utilize the concept of Gallimaufry. Gallimaufry is the beautiful conversational mix. And I teach a whole class on Gallimaufry where we're going to explore different words, different combination of words to make something really exciting together. Now, but before we go there, before I share with you practical tips of how you can get Gallimaufry into your daily work and into your daily words, your conversational skills, I want to show you how professional people are using those words in the professional field. So let's take a look at these two ways people have used the words. Number one, it's written by Armand White, National Review. Is the Matrix the Conservatives' Star Wars? On 30th of August 2019. As a directing writing team, the Wachowskis added fashionable academic flavor by referencing cultural theorist John, which make the juvenile Gallimaufry, including vague biblical allusions, seem highbrow. So you have one occurrence over there. Another occurrence was by David Greenberg of New York Times, The Vietnam War Then and Now, 14th of September 2017. And in that, the main text is laced through a Gallimaufry of maps, photos, captions, and sidebars, and rendered mostly in flat prose. Really interesting. So the word Gallimaufry has this ability for us to bring in ideas, a consolidative action or a mixture of things together. And sometimes this mixture may make sense, sometimes it doesn't make sense, but it forms a beautiful dish. Now think about this. Why does this work? Why does it not work? Why does it interest us? So recently, there was a big talk about in this region, this part of the world in Asia, talking about a very specific use of a notion of Gallimaufry in a sentence. And that word was warm the cockles of my heart. How many have heard that word? Right? It really intrigues us and say, wow, what does it mean by to warm the cockles of my heart? And why was it used at the moment? And why do people say this? That has such a profound impact in the thing that we remembered. So recently, one of the politicians in our region actually used that phrase in a debate, and that caused his debate to be so memorable, not because of the entirety of the contents, even though the contents were great, but because of the utilization of words and phrase that seem Gallimaufry. Okay, so let me show you some examples of how you can use them. So Gallimaufry is a mixture of food. So I'm going to share with you some how you can mix some mixture of food into your daily phrases and words that can have a profound impact on your audience. So many people ask me, okay, so can you show me examples of how I can use phrases like this? For example, warm the cockles of my heart in a sentence. So warming of the cockles of heart is not an ancient word, but it's actually quite modern as well in its sense, and it has been used many times. So let's take a look at this. Warm the cockles of one's heart. The meaning is to give one comforting feeling of contentment. It's said that it's probably also an origin of the saying that something gives us that warm and fuzzy feeling. The cockles of the heart are its ventricles, named by some in Latin as cochlea cordis, or from cochlea, a snail, alluding to their shape. The saying means to warm and gratify one's deepest feelings. So when you use it to say that, hey, my role as a leader, my role as a coach, my role as an influencer, a team player, it's to see my team grow. And when I see my team grow, when I see my people grow, that warm the cockles of my heart. What a beautiful way of saying things, but a very intriguing way, because you're making allusion. You're bringing a metaphor of cockles, bringing a metaphor of the shape of the spiral of the snail, the shell, into a conversational mix, and that has a profound impact because people are thinking, oh, what does it mean? That sounds very interesting. Let me give you another example. Right, another example is this word called full of bins. Full of bins. What does it mean to be full of bins? Well, it means feeling lively or happen to be extremely happy about something. Really interesting. Now, in some, there's alternate meaning to that, meaning to say that that's not correct or truthful, full of nonsense. If that's what he has been saying, then it's full of beans. So full of beans has a duality effect now. So sometimes the words have two meanings. In this case, full of beans can mean a positive saying. It also can mean a negative saying. So in a positive sense, full of beans means that, wow, there's something really amazing about whatever is spoken. There's something really exciting of what's spoken. So that's the full of beans over there, right? So when you think about full of beans, you can think about, hey, well, that person over there, right? The way he has described, the leader, the way he has spoken, well, it was full of beans. Okay, so it was very lively, it was full of information, it was full of content, it was full of bits. Okay, so another reference of using words of a daily usage of food into the mix of a conversation. Now let's take a look at the next one. It's called the Big Enchilada. Enchilada, for some of us who may not know, it's a dish. It's a very popular dish with tacos and everything that's really nice, with tomato and everything. It's really, really beautiful dish. So when we say the Big Enchilada, right? The meaning is that a person or thing of great importance. So this phrase is used to describe the leader, the top man or woman, the boss. It crops up in infamous Watergate tapes, in which it is referenced to then as Attorney General John Mitchell. And Mitchell led President Nixon's re-election campaign in 1972 and was later indicted on charges that he had conspired to plan the burglary of the Democratic National Committee's headquarters in the Watergate complex in Washington, D.C., and he was convicted in 1974. So the Big Enchilada is referring to that big leader, that man, right? So you noticing this, very interestingly, that you could use words like this. You can enmesh words from even our daily vernacular of food and to make something so exciting. I remember watching one of the Japanese manga series, which is called Shokugenki no Soma. And it's about a story of young people going through a championship on cooking and how they utilize words from the cooking lexicon into the daily prose and making the liveliness of food becoming so elucidated and so enticing. Now, but the great thing about Gallimaufry is this. It doesn't stop at food. The good news is this, that you can actually borrow from different domains, different disciplines into the mix of your conversation, really enhancing the way you converse with someone and making your speech, making your prose sound really exciting, sound really masterful. And the way I encourage all of us to do is to read widely. So if you've not read any book other than your domain book, for example, if you're a coach and all you're reading just books on coaching, I'll recommend you to read books that are outside of coaching. Go read about geometry. Go read about arithmetic. Go read about calculus. Go read about Pythagoras' theorem. Go read about philosophy, anthropology. Go read about archaeology, history. And you begin to find very unique concepts that you can borrow from there and bring them into your conversational mix. And that will make your speech stand out. That will make your role as a coach stand out. That will make you as a leader stand out. Too often, I've heard so many speeches being given all over YouTube, all over in live conferences, and many of these speakers are rehashing the same old, right? Nothing's fresh, nothing's new. So when I spoke to a whole bunch of people previously, I shared with them one principle, which is called the Newteric principle, making things fresh again. It's not about bringing something new, but it's really about thinking about how do I make something fresh again? What was once said? How do I make it fresh? How do I create a new spin, a new angle, a new perspective of seeing things? How do I start with who? How do I actually bring about that sense of bewilderment for people? So you think about this, right? You can borrow concepts from even from clouds, from weather. I used to study the weather a lot for the purpose of hobby and for leisure, because I was always wondering, why are there different types of clouds, and why are some clouds grow? Why do some clouds grow really fast, and why do some clouds float at a certain height, but you hardly find some of them beyond a certain height? Why is it like that? So I began to bewilder me and said, hey, what if life was like a cumulonimbus cloud? Would you want life like this, or would you like life to be like a cirrus cloud? Because when you are a cirrus cloud, it's a cloud that floats up high in the stratosphere. Whereas a cumulonimbus cloud is a cloud full of thunderstorms, full of turmoil on the inside, full of updraft. Which kind of clouds would you want to be? So there you have, I'm using a Gallimaufry effect. Bring together concepts of other disciplinaries into the conversation mix, making a beautiful conversation one at a time. So the beauty of this whole concept of Gallimaufry today is that I hope you gain something out of this, and I hope that you begin to explore how you could use Gallimaufry in your daily conversation, in your prose, in your engagement with people, in the mixture. One of the beautiful songs I've heard recently was from Hamilton, the musical Hamilton. So I encourage you to watch it, because in that show there are many beautiful songs, raps, and the way that the songwriters have infused a lot of interesting thoughts and concepts into it was amazing. How they borrow from different generations, how they utilize words, how they put them together, how they chunk them together to create the depth of meaning that is so profound. So I always encourage speakers, right? Many people say, hey, how do I become a better speaker? To become a better speaker is not just about the way you articulate words, but it's in the way you communicate to the hearts of men. It's in the way you make language relevant to the people around you. Think about Jesus. He utilized words of daily men, of daily fishermen. In fact, he used words like, hey, cast your nets. Today you'll be fishers of men. Look at it. That is a very profound Gallimaufry effect by utilizing the words like this. For example, right, he would go around to say, hey, think about the seed. The seed sown on the wayside will sprout very quickly but wither. But the seed sown on good ground will gain, 100-fold, 1,000-fold in return. So even utilizing such things in the parables that he spoke was a Gallimaufry effect, when he was able to mix all these daily words for people and create a new spin, a new twist, and bring something fresh for people to see. So I encourage you, share with me, right? So if this really encourages you and you want to take on the Gallimaufry challenge or the making beautiful conversation, I encourage you to post some of your thoughts in the comment section below and share with me what are some ways you can utilize words across multidisciplinary in your language today. So there you have it. So if you're still wondering whether you should share this video, do remember to like this video and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because every single week we come to you with fresh new ideas, fresh new concepts, and to help you improve your conversation one conversation at a time. So if you want to explore more about what coaching is, and you want to know how to become a better coach, and you want to get on board one of our coaching programs, we have a whole series of programs to cater for different coaches. And even if you don't want to be a coach, even if you want to improve your conversation, you want to be a better speaker, you can engage us, because a lot of our programs, it's not just for coaches. It is to help you as an individual to improve your communication skills, because coaching, it's conversational mastery. If you can coach yourself, you can coach others, you now have the ability to converse with masterful language to inspire and transform lives. Okay, so I will see you in our next video, and until then, stay safe.